Let us go. As spawning in the top left-hand corner of Rascallion, we have our Protoss and Terran duo. We do have Spirit and ShoWTimE. And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner, we have their opponents. We have the blue duo. We have the Team Liquid team, I should say. We have Elazer and SKillous. Hello, Zeticon. Hello, hello. ¿Qué tal? ¿Cómo estás? Bienvenidos. As we are settling in. Oh boy. Here we go. And we'll see how these two compare. Also, I should give a shout out to, of course, Milky Cow and Wayne for making it as far as they did. They were hyper aggressive in their games. We had the 1 base all-in game 1, and in game 2, we did have the 2 base all-in as well, which didn't kill Elazer and SKillous, and they were able to eventually stabilize and snowball out of control. I say Elazer was able to stabilize and snowball out of control. SKillous is just a great job at just tanking all the shots. Like it was like SKillous was the tank, and Elazer, he was the DPS, the glass cannon, if you will. It's a glass cannon. And boy did he cannon. It's crazy. So we are building up. So we are going to be building up back at home. We do have our standard economic opener out of Spirit, likewise standard opener out of ShoWTimE as well. I guess I should emphasize that just because we had Milky Cow and Wayne being a little bit more quirky in their builds. But here, like, nothing crazy. Nothing crazy, nothing wild. We're not going for like a delayed CC into a faster factory, which we saw previously from Milky Cow, into the Cyclone opener. So we can just settle in. Settle in, saturate. We mentioned before that cheese is more of a rare sight in 2v2s. It's quite rare, which is why it was refreshing to see Wayne and Milky Cow whip that out. With no success, might I add, but exciting nonetheless. As 2v2s are usually longer games. They're usually longer, they usually get into the mid game, sometimes into the late game as well. Not uncommonly. I should also emphasize that what I say is mainly when it comes to the pro 2v2 scene, less so the ladder. I'm sure the ladder is full of cheese and full of aggression, 100%. Full of all-ins. At this level, that kind of play is harder to pull off. At least it feels to be the case. Now that we're still just building up, saturating, we can see Elazer, he pulls out of gas, so he's just focusing on his droning, getting his third. Likewise, we have our tech of choice against Stargate opener into Oracle out of ShoWTimE. Meanwhile, we just see SKillous diverting. Doesn't open Stargate, does open Twilight Council instead. Interesting. Oh wait, no, my apologies. Oh yeah, does open Twilight Council. Twilight Council most likely into Blink. Meanwhile, it was an Oracle opener into Phoenix from ShoWTimE. Ooh, not just one, going for a second Stargate. Now, I do like this against another Stargate opener. Checking the vision here of ShoWTimE, he didn't see the tech. Did not see the tech, so not fully aware what's going on. We'll see how well this can work. The map is quite large, so if the players are left alone, then of course ShoWTimE can build up a decent Phoenix count. Can build it up. And this would shut down a Stargate opener from SKillous, which doesn't exist. As the Oracle pokes in and does confirm the Twilight Council. Okay, Twilight Council into Blink. And we'll see what these Phoenixes get done. See what they can get done. As it's going to be Ling Hydra from our Zerg, and of course Mass Stalker from SKillous as he shuts down the Oracle. Aye, aye, aye. Oracle goes down. Now, when it comes to scouting, they are aware of the Stargate, they are unaware of the second Stargate and the Master Phoenix that's on the way. So Team Liquid, they're in the dark as to what's going on. Now, the purpose of the goal here should be for ShoWTimE to harass, to buy time, and to allow Spirit to build up back at home. To build up and to embrace his own bio tank. Phoenix as they fan out. SKillous zoning away. He does scout the army. And you can see the ping, so looks like SKillous is letting Elazer know. He's like, yo, let's go Mass Phoenix. Fleet beacon on the way. And we'll see if Team Liquid can keep up with ShoWTimE. Ooh, Spire response out of Elazer. This I'm not so certain of. I mean, on the one hand, like Hydras in a head-on fight, they do well against Phoenixes, but they can have a hard time keeping up with Phoenixes harassing like this. That is true. But if we're going into Corruptors, that's going to be a big investment here into an anti-air army. And what's going to be the answer here to the Terran player? That's my concern. So this should be Ling main Corruptor out of Elazer. Should be. Meanwhile, Stalkers, they do keep up. They shut down one of the Phoenixes. They get 2. Not bad. 2 Phoenixes going down. They get into the main. More probes going to be falling. And they do scout the Spire. Now ShoWTimE is already switching out of Phoenix into Mass Skytoss. So Skytoss is on the way. And it looks like, okay, so SKillous, he's going to be dealing with the ground army. He's going Mass Wing Stalker into a Bay into Colossus. So SKillous is going to be dealing with Spirit, ideally. And we have Elazer, ideally, dealing with the Skytoss with his Corruptors. So we're kind of taking our roles. Okay, Corruptors are on the way. And we can see SKillous going for the Bay, going for the Templar Archives as well. So Colossus, Storm, Splash Damage, drones are going down. No Spore. No Spores. Brutal losses. 11 drone kills so far. Nice damage out of ShoWTimE. Ooh, Drop a Lord on the way. I like it. Going for a Link drop into the main. And again, we do see Skytoss amassing for ShoWTimE. Mass Corruptor from the side of Elazer. Now, we still are lacking splash damage. The robots are finishing up, but we need those Colossus. We need that splash damage here to help deal with the Bioterran with Spirit. Like, right now, if Spirit moved out, I don't think he can be stopped. I don't think he can be stopped by Corruptor Immortal. And by the Stalkers. But now, though, Spirit, he's walling up, throwing down turrets, throwing down tanks. Yo, we're going to be here for a while. We're gonna I do think that there's a window here where the red team can push, but they're deciding to just fully wall up cannons, shield batteries, turrets, lane drop into the main. Corruptors, they go for the natural. Nice push here, going for the CC. Stalkers, they come in to support as well. Making use of that mobility. And this is slowing Spirit down. Not bad. They also have a better idea of what they're up against. As they get eyes on the siege line. Colossus are on the way. So from here, oh, I was going to say that Elazer should be going into Broodlord Infestor Corruptor, but we have a Hydrogen being thrown down. So that tells us that he wants to go Corruptor Lurker instead. Corruptor's looking for another CC. Yeah, containing Spirit. Spirit stimming out. He breaks free. We'll zone the Corruptors away. Meanwhile, we have a 4th target on the way for ShoWTimE. ShoWTimE just going mass carrier. Jesus. It's a lot of carriers. I'm concerned by the lack of spellcasters, whether it's Infestor or whether it's Viper. Right now, there is nothing for Elazer. It's just pure Corruptor, which I'm not too convinced by, not gonna lie. Like, having some parasitic bombs or some abductions just adds so much more utility to the army of the Zerg. But I'm loving this position once again. Denying mining. Ooh, brutal snipes. Snipes going off. There's a cloak. But once again, abusing this cliff face with the Colossus and with the Blink Stalkers as well. Just a really nice angle of attack. And also, at the same time, Ling Rumbai. Ling Rumbai comes in. Ooh, Corruptors there extend. A lot of Corruptors go down. A lot of Corruptors fall. He goes for the dive, takes down one carrier. He gets one, he gets two. Takes down two carriers, but it does cost him a lot of Corruptors here. Elazer does plummet in the Corruptor count. That was how many? That was 22 Corruptors going down. I'm not so sure that's worth it. There's limited anti-air. Dives once again, gets another carrier. Has to pull back. The Colossus are exposed. And the Sky Toss is looking to overwhelm. Archons are somewhat supporting. But yeah, this was a rough fight. That was 35 Corruptors for 3 carriers. Like, that's how inefficient that was. That was crazy. Nice little run by into the main base, and the Lings, they did wreak some havoc here towards the south side, but again, that was not a good trade for Elazer. Again, 35 for 3. That was crazy. He just kept going. He gets one more. Gets one more. The Archons, I mean, they're helping against the Interceptors, I suppose, but I mean, again, where's the anti-air? Yeah, Team Liquid were overextending. They overextend so hard here. Like, again, that fight earlier was not it. And now they barely have any anti-air. The mass carrier, he's 1v2ing. Like ShoWTimE. He's got 10 carriers. Like, who needs Spirit? Like, so he's like, I'll help. I have some ghosts. ShoWTimE is pushing in. He does lose one carrier, losing another. Oh god, but so many Corruptors once again, they fall. We have more reinforcements on the way. Still 10 carriers. Does hard down the Archons. Base goes down. At the same time, a massive Link counterattack, but again, it's all about that anti. We need more Corruptors, more Stalkers, more everything. Now, if we can work together, I believe that not just with the Corruptors, with the Stalkers blinking under the carriers, we can focus them down one after the other. Like, I think there's a chance here for the blue team. They can pull this off. Ooh, Spire's going down. Spire's going down. Spirit is out of this game at this point. And here we go. He goes for the dive. He gets one. He gets 1, 2, 3. Yeah, together they can work together, Pappy. Let's go. And they will clean up all the carriers. Carriers are going down one after the other. And with that, Team Liquid, they will take game number 1. Whew. GG. They will take the first game. SKillous Elazer, they kick things off with a win. Again, that was a intense game, and really the MVPs here were the Ling Rumbais. Spirit was not a part of this. Spirit, he lost his natural. He just could not mine from his natural, and likewise, he was also being denied his, I believe it was his third base. I believe his southern third base was also being denied by Ling Rumbais over and over again. So Spirit just could not actually mine, didn't really have a bank to work with. ShoWTimE was popping off, by the way. ShoWTimE, he was popping off. He was maxed out on a Mothership, on carrier as well. He was holding his own, but he was on his own. Like Spirit, he was losing worker after worker. He just had no economy. And in the end, even though ShoWTimE was trading well, he was fighting well, SKillous and Elazer, they could rebuild. They can work together, and eventually they were able to deal with the maxed out Skytos army. GG. GG, well played. Whew. With that, game 1 goes the way of Elazer and SKillous, and now we're jumping into game number 2. Let's go. Jumping into game 2. It's one of those things where ShoWTimE got to his final form, Spirit couldn't really get there. He couldn't really help him, couldn't really support him. Spirit was being bullied. And now we're getting into game 2. And spawning. Spawning in the top left-hand corner of Emerald City, we have the red team. We have the red duo themselves. We have Spirit and ShoWTimE. and spawning. In the bottom right hand corner, we have their opponents. We have the blue team. We have for Team Liquid, SKillous and Elazer. Whew, here we go. And again, there was some questionable fights, I will say, from the Team Liquid boys. But what's important is at the same time, they were denying they were fighting over the natural base of Spirit, and there were also some Link run-bys and Link counterattacks, and there was a lot going on there to try to make sure that Spirit was a non-factor in that game. But now we're settling into game number 2. CC first. CC first out of Spirit. Meanwhile, Hatch, Gas Pool out of Elazer. Standard openers all around. Nexus first out of SKillous. Okay. Everyone is greedy. We see Spirit cutting corners and SKillous also cutting corners. ShoWTimE going for a standard opener, ShoWTimE going for a gate expand. So technically coming into this, ShoWTimE is economically slightly behind compared to SKillous. Like just comparing our Protoss players at least. ShoWTimE playing safer, or playing more standard, I should say. But I do like the idea of players cutting corners. I wouldn't even be opposed to maybe like a gasless opener at one point from Elazer, just because like cheese and aggression and all-ins are more of a rarity. So cutting corners does make sense. Oh, speaking of cutting corners, CC first into a 2x follow-up. This can turn into a 3-1-1. This can turn into a 4x. This can turn into a 2-1-1. My eyes are on Spirit here. Do we throw down a third Rax, or do we throw down a factory? Or do we throw down a third CC? True, this could be like a third CC before third Rax. Could be 3 CC, 3 Rax out of Spirit. So what do you have for us? Now reactors on the way, tech labs on the way for a stim. Meanwhile, Twilight Council open out of ShoWTimE. ShoWTimE did go Stargate Phoenix into Mass Sky, tells Mass Carrier earlier, but here he avoids that. Twilight Council instead. Likewise, we do have no tech of choice yet from the side of SKillous. Third base on the way for Elazer. We have the answer 2-1-1. Okay, so double racks into not a third racks, not a CC, but a factory. So 2-1-1 out of Spirit. What this is that this is a 16 Marine double medevac timing. Basically, Stim is going to finish up by the time Stim and I believe combat shields will begin. By the time we do get 16 Marines and the medevac and the starport and the medevac's up and running. So this can be a very potent timing here from Spirit. Meanwhile, do have another gate on the way. Robo. This was a Twilight Council before second gateway, so really early Twilight Council, really early blink out of ShoWTimE. This is going to be a very aggressive timing here. We should be hitting with Stim and with blink at around the same time. So Spirit and ShoWTimE, they're being more aggressive. Meanwhile, Twilight Council opener out of SKillous. You can see that his Twilight Council isn't even done. Meanwhile, blink is almost complete. So we have a hyper-aggressive start here. I say hyper. We have an aggressive start here from our red team. Blue team is going to be the defenders. They now come in for the scout. They confirm the 2-1-1. And he confirms that the Twilight Council is complete. A gateway explosion. Yeah, he pings. He knows. Blue team, they're in danger. But at least they know they're in danger. They know that aggression is coming their way. We see a defensive ping here at the third base of SKillous. It's going to be tough to hold on to this third. It's not going to be easy, I'll be honest. Shield batteries are a must. Dark Shrine from ShoWTimE. Jesus. And the red team should soon be moving out. And here we go. Here come the medevacs. Here comes the push. Stim is complete. And we have 16 Marines. We have 16 Marines. We have how many Stalkers? 6. 6 Blink Stalkers, might I add. And together they can break this third. Or they can try to. As they try to push in, we do have Mass Link coming in from Elazer. He does surround the Adepts at least. Stalk's living away. Nice control, saving the Adepts. Oh my god, ShoWTimE, calm down. Blinks away, preserves the army. And again, has the blue team been too greedy? They're trying to push forward. 30 more Lings are on the way. They need a little bit more time. Spirit and ShoWTimE, they do rotate over towards the third base of Elazer. Lings trying to collapse in. Stalker's pushing forward as well. Nice blink control out of ShoWTimE. Doing a great job of just tanking. But finally, we're going to be forced back. Finally, they are running out of steam. And oh my god, the full medevac goes down. Oh, that should not have happened. Full medevac catching up some Stalkers as well. And the blue team, they hold. They don't just hold, they have a massive advantage as well. But here come the DTs. I forgot about them. Dark Templar, they waddle in. Prism into the main. Yeah, we have a Dark Templar in the natural, in the third base of SKillous. There is no lair. There is zero detection. No shot. Zero. Okay, the spores. There are spores. That's all there is. And SKillous has zero economy, zero mining, nothing in the main base, nothing in the natural. They're going to be forced all in. As SKillous has nothing. Just has nothing here. Oh no, the probes are going down. SKillous. Yeah, my god. And despite their impressive defense, the Invisible Man is just ending the game. The Invisible Man is just killing one of the players, is killing SKillous. SKillous is losing everything to a handful of Dark Templar. And again, there's just no way to deal with this. The lair is not yet done, so no Overseer. Spore is limited to creep. There's no cannons, no nothing. And I think it's just game. I think that's just it. Ay. Even in 2v2s, the Invisible Man is just too much, Papi. It's just too much. And such a shame because I was very impressed with their defense. Like, I was very impressed with the greed that they had gotten away with their defense against the 2-on-1, with their defense against the Blink. Like, it was solid. It was impressive. Now we finally get the, oh god, the Archon morphs in. Overseer has arrived. And Spirit and ShoWTimE, they're here to kill. They're here to go for the kill. Hatchery will fall. Army stims in. And there's just no saving this base. There's no saving this expansion. The Lings, they trickle in, but there are just so many Marines. Oh god. Catching out all the drones. And there's still a Dark Templar. There's still DTs and Zealots here striking that third. Or the fourth base even. Again, just trying to catch some reinforcements. Again, it's just pure Ling Stalker. Spirit is overstimmed. True. He's overstimmed, but this is still just a better trade for the red team. And we're going to have a back and forth. We're going to have a series, Pappy. Let's go. As Elazer rallies his overlords across the map, they're all going to go down. Third base is being broken. We do rally into the army, but yeah, GG gets called. The writing is on the wall, and Spirit and ShoWTimE, they fight back. They put a point on the board. GG. Whew. GG, well played. Again, the initial timing, the 2-on-1, the early blink, that was not enough to break Elazer and SKillous. It had an impressive defense, but to pull off that defense, no lair. There was no lair. Likewise, there was no Robo, there was no Forge, there was no Stargate opener either, so there were no ways to get any detection up and running outside of Spores. And Spores are limited because they're stuck on creep. Like, they could not defend the bases of SKillous, and SKillous died. SKillous, he was just torn apart then and there by the mass DT. And with that, Elazer just could not keep up, not on his own. GG. GG, well played. We are now getting into game number 3. And we'll see who takes the lead in this series. We're currently tied up 1-1, and game 3 is going to be on Yellow Jacket. Oh boy. One of the smaller maps in the map pool, shorter rush distance by ground. Let's go. As spawning in the top right hand corner of Yellow Jackets, we have the red team. Oh, yeah, the red team. We have Spirit alongside ShoWTimE. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner, we have the blue team. We have the Team Liquid boys. We have SKillous alongside Elazer. Here we go. And again, welcome one all to Yellow Jacket. Yellow Jacket is, for the first time tonight, actually. It's often vetoed, so we don't often get to experience it. It's an interesting map. We do have a shared main, true. We have a shared natural, but unlike on other maps, I mean, I guess it's kind of similar to Emerald City, but there are multiple attack paths. There's a larger ramp here on the right. There's also a choke point here towards the left, so multiple attack paths into the natural bases, so it is more difficult to wall up and to wall off and to defend. Even more so than Emerald City, because in Emerald City I feel like the entrances are a little bit more localized or in the same vicinity. Likewise, our players are also expanded in different directions. One player will have to expand towards their opponents out into the open. And again, the rush distance by ground is shorter on this map. Is much shorter. As when it comes to these center expansions, they're, I believe, like basically within the same screen as each other. So we often see shorter games. We often see shorter games on Yellow Jackets. We often see more all-ins or aggressive builds really thrive. We haven't seen too much late game on Yellow Jackets, but we'll see if we can get there. For now, standard opener out of ShoWTimE. Ooh, meanwhile, we do have double gas out of Spirit. Okay, Spirit, he's spicing things up once again. Last game we had a 2-on-1, this time double gas. What does double gas mean? Double gas means a faster factory. This means late command center. Command center is going to be delayed intentionally so in favor of a faster factory. Now, the last time we saw this build from Milky Cow, this was for a faster reactor add-on swap into reactor to Hellion. Here, no reactor, no add-on swap. This could just be for a faster reactor here for Hellion production. Could be for a faster tech lab into Cyclones. We'll see. As the Reaper does move out. More Reapers on the way. Stargate opener out of ShoWTimE. Does open Stargate. Similar to game 1. And it is going to be Reaper heavy. It is going to be Reaper Hellion. The first Zealot moves out across the map. Early game aggression here from the red team. Just running across the map with more Adepts, more Reapers, more Hellions. Remember, they're not all in, but this is still committed, especially from Spirit. It's committed. Also means earlier starport. Yeah, second Reaper gets spotted. Nice target firing. Did he get one? Oh! He gets one, but the Queen goes down. Brutal loss there for Elazer. Yeah, Lings are out of position. They're trying to keep up. As we still just rally across the map. Again, the Adepts, they do hold on. They still trade well against the Lings. Denying mining here for SKillous. And the blue team will eventually hold, but again, this is still a rough hold. Bleeding out 5 Lings, bleeding out a Queen, bleeding out 2 probes. And behind this, we're not done. Behind this, we're going into the Oracle follow-up. Now, this did just get pinged by the hallucination, so spores are on the way. We have spores from the Zerg, and we have a shield battery from the Protoss. From the side of Spirit, though, again, it was a hyper aggressive opener or more aggressive opener here out of Spirit. Behind this, going into Cloak Banshee. So Banshees are amassing. Cloak is on the way. Checking the vision here at SKillous. I don't think he saw. Yeah, he did not quite confirm. He's not fully aware. I'm a little bit concerned that we're about to see a repeat of the last game. No lair. Elazer, he does like to lay his lair here. I mean, we should be seeing one for another couple of seconds. But what I mean by that is that without a lair and without mobile detection, DTs killed SKillous. They killed SKillous last time. What's next? Banshees. They have potential. They do have potential here. Oracles are moving in. ShoWTimE getting his third. The Oracles are deflected. Robo's on the way for SKillous. Let's go. Let's go for the Robo. 1, 2, 3 probes going down. Nice control here by ShoWTimE. As they 3 get into 4, get into 5. 5 probe kills. Lair is on the way. Okay. So now there's a higher chance here that there's going to be detection for the Banshees. With the Lair, that means there's going to be Overseers. With the Robo, there's going to be Observers. Banshees, they're making their way across the map. Meanwhile, Hellions into the mineral line. Again, Spirit and ShoWTimE, they've just been so aggressive this game. I mean, last game as well. They've just turned up that aggression. Punishing SKillous and Elazer. Especially Elazer. Like, Elazer, he's known for greed. Like, Elazer, he doesn't really have an army. I'm afraid to look. 11 lings. Like, this is the army for Elazer. 11 lings. Like, Elazer, he's known for doing this. For just just droning up as hard as possible. Hyper droning. Getting another base. Banshees have arrived. Observers here. Stalkers out of position. More probes going to be going down. Oof. Getting up to 24. Oh my, 24 probes. Just like last time. Last time, DTs killed SKillous. This time, Banshees are going to be killing SKillous instead. But the invisible units, they're pretty good. They are pretty good here. I'm afraid to look. 30 probe kills. Oh, no. And usually it's SKillous that is the one that's protecting Elazer. But here, Elazer, he has no protection. Not anymore. Elazer is rushing into Infestation Pit. He's rushing into Ultras. 1-1 upgrades into Hive Tech, most likely into Ultras. This is ambitious here from Elazer. Now, on the one hand, I'm sure Elazer is feeding SKillous. SKillous is in a rough position, so I'm sure Elazer is helping in some way. But SKillous is in a rough position. Now, moving out. The armies, they pass by each other. And we also mentioned about how the rush distance by ground is shorter on this map, so I mean it makes sense to open up aggressively the way that ShoWTimE and Spirit have. Going for the tanks, he gets one. Oh, not even. Popping up the outer Spirit, very nicely done. It does pull away. Tanks do siege on the high ground. Army gets forced back at the same time. We do see ShoWTimE striking the bases here of Elazer. And remember, Elazer doesn't really have much of an army. He has purely Ling. He has 0-0 Lings. Elazer on his own, he cannot deal with this. There we go, base goes down. He will lose his fourth. And ShoWTimE kites well. Behind this reinforcing with the oracles. There's a recall. Has Lings to overwhelm. 1-1 is kicking in for Elazer. Oh, the stasis goes off. Ay. SKillous getting caught out. And they have to counterattack. They have to do something with this army. As they're still... Oh, no, the Banshee's back. They keep going. Leave SKillous alone. Ay. As the red team is getting out of hand. At this point, the red team is getting out of hand. Spirit and ShoWTimE, they're pushing out. You know what's going to happen next game? Next game, SKillous is going to open Robo. He's going to open Robo Observer first, or something like that. Ay. Double jump into the main. SKillous, he will lose his main base, and at the same time, the main army is pushing in towards the bases of Elazer. Actually, they split off towards, just the bases of Elazer and SKillous, the third bases. Ling round by, runs into a bunker. The bunker does defend. The hatcheries are going down. Main Nexus did fall. And Team Liquid, they just cannot keep up. Not against his SKillous, he's supply blocked. And remember, SKillous, he lost 30 probes to the Banshees. 30 workers, that was crazy. I mean, to the combination of the Banshees and the Hellions and the Reapers and the Oracles. Just bullied the entire early game. And with that, he will lose another base. SKillous, he's down to 1 mining expansion. The main went down. The third base went down. 1 base left for SKillous. And remember, Elazer, he never teched. GG gets called. Elazer, he only had Lings to defend. Never any Roaches, never any Hydras. And Spirit and ShoWTimE, they take a 2-1 lead. GG. Whew. GG, well played. They will take a lead in the series. And SKillous and Elazer, their greed, it's hurting them here. It is hurting them. Now, to be fair, the map was helping Spirit and ShoWTimE. We mentioned how aggression is just favored on Yellow Jacket. Aggression tendencies, they're just boosted, they're bolstered because of how small the map is, because of the multiple angles of attack as well. So we'll see how our players adjust coming into our next game, coming into Undercurrent. Let's go. The dinosaur map. Oh boy. Again, this is where we see SKillous just open Robo. He's gonna it's like, I had it up to here with all these invisible units. The DTs, the Banshees. Aye. Too much, baby, too much. There we go. Spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of Undercurrent, we have the red team. We have the team leading the series 2-1. We have ShoWTimE and Spirit. And they are one game away from becoming this month's champions. And spawning in the top right-hand corner, we have their opponents. We have the Team Liquid boys. We have the blue team. We have SKillous and Elazer. Here we go. Again, it wasn't just that SKillous was being bullied and punished last game. It was also the fact that Elazer was rushing into, remember, he was going pure drones into 1-1 upgrades, into Hive Tech, into Ling. I assumed into Ling Ultra, but towards the end, he just didn't have the economy to sustain Ultra production, so just Ling into Adrenal, just mass Ling. And did not scale too well coming into the mid-game. And we'll see what kind of aggression our red team has. And I assume aggression because for the past 2 games, Spirit and ShoWTimE, they've been very aggressive, very assertive. Not necessarily going for all-ins, but going for, yeah, more aggressive builds nonetheless to punish their opponents. And it's been working quite well. Double gas. Once again, double gas opener out of Spirit, so we did mention aggression. This is going to be a Rax into a faster Factory. Now, last game, this led into a faster Starport, into faster Cloak Banshee. This time, I don't expect to see the same. This could be faster Factory into Reactor Reaper Hellion. This could be for faster Cyclone production. This could be for an early tank drop. There are a lot of possibilities here for Spirit, as that Factory, before CC. So once again, an aggressive build here from Spirit. Meanwhile, we do see ShoWTimE going for a standard opener, going for a Gate Cyber Expand. Oh, did I say standard opener? We have a proxy across the map. Once again, ShoWTimE and Spirit, they've been hyper aggressive here. And I do think that a lot of it is because of Elazer. Like, Elazer has a reputation. Elazer has a certain style. And Elazer's style is be greedy, drone up, and skip units, and skip tech. And even in game 1, the game that they won was when we had SKillous kind of like tanking and doing whatever he could to allow Elazer to get into his own final form. That's often their dynamic. And it does mean that the blue team here, they're vulnerable early on. They're often quite vulnerable in the early game, in the early to mid game. Island is done. Did it get spotted? It did. Okay, yeah. SKillous did spot it. They are aware. So ShoWTimE does not commit to any proxy gateway, as they know they got scouted. But now we have our tech of choice. It's going to be a Stargate opener out of ShoWTimE. Twilight Council out of SKillous. With a faster Factory, we're going into that faster Starport. Hellion Reaper moving out. So we've gone up to 3 Reapers and 2 Hellions in a quite robust army for Spirit. And again, he wants that mineral line. So far being zoned away. Liberator, not Banshee. Keeping the tech lab on the Factory. Okay. We're mixing it up. From here, we can go for an early tank. We can go for early Cyclone. And there it is, early tank production. So the tank count is going to be quite high quite quickly here for Spirit. Building up tanks, building up Liberators. Still being active. This can lead into a 2-base push. This can lead into a committed move out. Meanwhile, ShoWTimE claiming a 3rd. Oracle still being active. . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . Let's go. I appreciate the aesthetic here. I appreciate it. ShoWTimE. Ooh, does get into the main. Uh-oh. Still shade in. Double Oracle towards the natural. Double Oracle does slip in. Shading towards the main. SKillous does pull away in time. And not bad, does pull away. Doesn't lose many workers. At the same time, Hellion Reaper towards the right hand side. And so far, SKillous and Elazer, they're keeping up. So far, so good. They're keeping up, they're minimizing losses. They surround the Hellion. A nice around. Bit of a citizen's arrest. Shut down the Hellions, they shut down the Reapers. From here, they do hold on. Gee, it's huge. Yo, imagine if there was collision. Like, imagine if like we've had like some unique maps before where you have like these like neutral creatures out here that can like smash into the Liberator or smash into medevacs that are trying to hide. Jesus. It's just the map made. Crazy. Like, it's almost like a bit of a lighter version of, like, remember the lava maps where every during intervals, like, the low ground would be surrounded by lava and anything that was there would just die. Here they'd just be like, you know, on a certain path, of course, like flying over. Here we go. From here, Spirit going to be claiming his center gold. The game is calming down. The initial Hellion Reaper aggression was not too successful, and now here comes the counterattack. And now SKillous and Elazer, they've had enough defending. It's time to push out. They deny the gold. They catch out a couple of SCVs. Not bad. The Marines are going down as well. Spirit bleeding out his army. And unlike the previous games, this time minimal losses. This time Elazer, he lost 4 drones to the Hellion harass, and SKillous only lost 6 probes to the Oracle harass, and the Adepts as well. So for the first time since game 1, SKillous and Elazer, they actually have a solid start. They actually have a stable opener, a stable economy, and now they can play some StarCraft. Oh no, they can try. Stasis goes off, massive stasis, massive connection. Yeah, Spirit and ShoWTimE, they hold onto the gold. They defend Spirit's 3rd. At the same time, ShoWTimE getting a 4th base. SKillous, he rotates. But we can actually embrace our game. Oof. As the tank barely survives. Oh my god, 3 HP tank does hold on. Oh, another stasis as well. ShoWTimE, calm down. The stasis traps, they're popping up. Time and time again, catching out Elazer and catching SKillous. Okay, he is trapped here. Where does he head? Tries to break out. He's going to be chased down. Another stasis. No! Another stasis goes off, and he still isn't along for this world. They're going to be cleaned up. Meanwhile, our players have been joining. We do see a decent drone count here for both SKillous and Elazer. They're both on 70+ workers, getting their 4th bases. They have map control, so mass expansion out of Elazer. And he is once again going for pure Ling into Hive. Now, we saw this attempted last game on Yellow Jacket. I don't like that Elazer went for that on one of the smaller maps, but here on Undercurrent, I believe the goal should be Ling into Ultra. Should be. As we're still on a low gas count. Still only 3 gases. Oof. So barely any gas income here for Elazer. Not yet. Hive is almost done. Elazer for now just going pure Ling. Ooh, stasis goes off. Nice auto stepping here out of Spirit, making use of the terrain. Does kite back. And Colossus production has begun. I was about to say that we are lacking splash damage here. That's gonna be Colossus here for SKillous. But ShoWTimE sticking with a gateway composition. Yeah, no Storm, no Colossus. So these Lings, they can potentially trade well. Still no gases though. Still very minimal gas income. Elazer, they go across the map. Once again, stasis traps, they shut down the Ling run-bys. The stasis traps are the MVPs. Time and time again, they just keep popping up. We got Dark Templar into the main. Overseer's morphing in. Oh, no cannons. Yeah, we have a cannon now on the way, but once again, no, not the PTSD. DTs, they distract SKillous. Center base goes down. Stasis runs out, and they will catch some workers. They will catch some tanks even. But probes are going down. Damage is being done. SKillous is distracted. And amidst all the chaos, Spirit, he pushes in. Does push in at the same time. Nice thing run by here by Elazer. Forces defensive warp pins. The natural base of SKillous is going to go down. Mass Link collapsing on ShoWTimE. And again, ShoWTimE, he has no splash damage, but he does deny any kind of surround. Yeah, nice positioning here from ShoWTimE. Oh. But going to be overwhelmed. It's going to be forced back. He has to get the hell out of here. Yeah, Spirit's army did crumble. ShoWTimE likewise bleeding out a lot of units, but another stasis. Oh my god, every time. Baits him in. Lings, they're being dealt with. They catch another tank. But Spirit and ShoWTimE, they're holding on. They're holding on. They dive on forward. They take down the Colossus. SKillous down to 41 probes. SKillous, he lost how many? He lost 45 workers to the DTs. 45 probes went down. Prism finally falls. But the Invisible Man and the Stasis Traps, of course, just wreaking havoc. ShoWTimE pulling his weight here. Remember, ShoWTimE is the replacement man, by the way. Like ShoWTimE, he's here to replace MaxPax, and I would say in a way almost carrying some of these games. Of course, Spirit, he has his place here as well, of course. Less so in game 1, but here also able to push through. He was able to snipe the base earlier, the natural. Oh, Lings, they catch reinforcements. I mean, again, these are 2-2 Lings, but it's still pure Ling. I assumed Ultras, but remember, gases were never taken, so we can't afford Ultras, just pure Ling out of Elazer. And it trades well, but SKillous, he cannot hold on. Another base goes down. Elazer running inside defense. ShoWTimE pushing out as well, and they go for the kill. They're going for the bases. Okay, there's barely anything to defend back at home. Lings, again, without Banelings, how do they trade against the Bio Army? They don't. Lings, they just evaporate. Oh no, the Stalkers as well, they also just melt. And with that, they've done a GG gets called. Spirit and ShoWTimE, they will take the series 3-2 and become this month's uThermal 2v2 circuit champion. GG. GG, well played. They will claim the win here. They will take this series. Spirit with 100% win rate. Typically it's Spirit and MaxPax, but here Spirit and ShoWTimE as a pair, they win for the first time. GG, well played. They do take the win. Again, ShoWTimE did an amazing job there when it came to supporting Spirit and even kind of taking the limelight away from him at times. When it came to his Sky Toss in game 1, when it came to the DT harass, likewise Oracles as well. They did a great job at punishing SKillous. What I'm referring to here, I mentioned it previously, but Elazer has a certain style of 2v2. If you noticed, it's just really greedy, right? It's very low tech, hyper greed, just droning up as much as possible, getting to a high worker count. And we saw at times it worked out well, but at other times here, for example, it did mean that SKillous was on his own for quite some time. And we saw that Spirit and ShoWTimE did a great job at punishing and breaking SKillous while he was trying to defend on his own, right? And even though Elazer would eventually, you know, get into his ideal 80+ drones, towards the end there, he only had Lings to work with, and he didn't have a teammate to support him, as they were able to punish and break SKillous ahead of time. Did happen this game, did happen previously as well. Even actually the last 2 games, we had DTs killing SKillous on Emerald City, and we had Banshees killing SKillous on Yellow Jacket as well, where he was just torn apart early on economically. And again, Elazer, being hyper greedy, couldn't support him, is what I'm getting at. I should also emphasize that as well. Because Elazer is so fixated on droning up so much and not making any units to defend, it means that he can't support SKillous. So it is like a 1v2 early on with SKillous versus ShoWTimE and Spirit. And he was torn apart for that. It was torn apart. GG well played. With that, Spirit and ShoWTimE, they will claim the win. They will take the series. Congratulations, they are the April champions. And if you're curious about the next edition, the May edition, that is coming up this weekend. Oh boy, so fast since the previous edition, but this weekend is going to be the May edition of the uThermal 2v2 circuit. If you're out there, if you want to take part, it isn't just these pro players. I mean, there's some big names. It's, again, I mentioned this before, but it's been really cool to see the pro scene take interest in this 2v2 circuit, because we have the best of the best. We have several. We have Spirit, ShoWTimE, MaxPack, SKillous, Elazer, Lambo, StarCraft, all the big names, Trigger as well, all the big names, all the big Europeans, they all play this. They all play in the 2v2 circuit. They all enjoy it, which is really cool to see as well. There's a lot of interest. When it comes to the Koreans, there's a couple of Korean teams. We do see 3 Points and Homono at times take part. We have seen a 2v2 duo of Gumiho and Ryung. Gumiho and Ryung as a double Terrans, they do take part as well. Double Terran, not the strongest of matchups, not the strongest of teams, so I think those are the only ones. I think Gumiho, Ryung, 3 Points, and Homono, those are the only Koreans I've seen really take part. I don't think we've seen interest in many of the others, partly also because it is at a really rough time for the Korean players. It is at a more friendly European and NA time slot, the event itself. So a lot of Koreans don't really invest as much time when it comes to staying up to compete and to play. But it would be nice if we had, like, I don't know, like a Shin Hero duo, or like a Bunny Shin duo, or even like maybe Beyond Creator sort of thing. It would be nice. It'd be nice if they took part. But regardless, GG well played. When it comes to some of the best duos out there, I remember Hero and Dark. They used to be a very strong 2v2 duo. But again, you know, Dark is retired nowadays. The other big one was Oliveira and Cyril. Oliveira also retired nowadays as well. But maybe we'll get some more duos jump in. I think Byun and Maru used to play, right? I think Byun and Maru, I think they were the 2v2 team for the WTL circuit. I think, if I remember correctly. But regardless, GG well played. With that, congratulations to Spirit and ShoWTimE. And again, the next 2v2 circuit is going to be this weekend. So if you're out there and if you want to take part, if you want to get involved in 2v2, then you can do so. Find a friend, get a partner, jump on in and take part. A lot of fun. It is a lot of fun. It's a little bit less serious, and you get to, hey, maybe cheese out some of your favorite pros. Maybe you can cheese out Cyril, maybe you can cheese out StarCraft or Lambo, or even some of these players here, or even just enjoy some 2v2s. So do consider taking part. Actually, I might have you covered here. Let's have a look. The next circuit is in 3 days. 3 days. That is the May edition. And I'll give you guys a link. Here you go. Oh, there we go. Beautiful. Who has signed up for the May edition? For the May edition, we have so far Spirit and MaxPack, to be expected. We have Nickrat and Geralt. They've also been teaming up recently. We have Gref and Deathmars, uThermal and Goblin, of course. Milky Cow and Wayne once again. We have Azura and Anticore. We have Mini Zerg and Zerg Kaban. I don't know who that is, but yeah. So far the signups are open for the next 3 days, so you can take part. You can take part if you wish. Otherwise, with that, thanks for watching. Thanks for the support. Again, we don't cast this event live. I did notice someone asking about it in the YouTube chat. We don't cast it live. We admin. When the event is running, we usually admin the event, and we cast it afterwards via replays. If you want to see the live coverage, I believe uThermal streams his POV, and if uThermal and Goblin get knocked out, then they will cast the remainder of the event, and I believe Steadfast also does cover this event in English as well. So they got you covered. Otherwise, thanks for watching. Thanks for the support. We do appreciate it. When it comes to the rest of the broadcast here on the CranKy Ducklings, we do have our schedule, which I believe is now adjusted. Yeah, and we have shifted this around. So originally the plan was to cover uThermal 2v2 circuit this morning and to host the podcast this evening. The podcast was going to be this evening, but if you're familiar with StarCraft and with GSL, you know that GSL is live tonight. GSL is tonight, and it was clashing with the podcast. And you know, that does typically impact viewership if we're ever hosting the podcast and another event is going on. So we rescheduled. The podcast has since moved from tonight to tomorrow. So tomorrow evening at 7 p.m. KST is going to be the podcast. Tomorrow morning is going to be Lil League Cup and Kanoya show matches as well. If you are curious, we're going to be casting Gumiho, going to be casting Scarlet, Jeshi as well. That is going to be Lil League Cup number 38. So that's going to be a big event, casting Scarlet for the first time in months, as Scarlet has been on a very long hiatus, has been very inactive. So great to see Scarlet competing once again. I do look forward to it. Looking forward to the Kanoya show matches as well. That's also going to be tomorrow morning. So a bunch of content. Over the weekend, we're going to be covering the May Mayhem Day 2 and Day 3. We also have Sea Duckling Open, we have Sparkling Tune Cup, and we have the Brazilian StarCraft 2 circuit. We have a lot of content, a lot of StarCraft over the course of the next couple of days, over the next couple of months even, as we are live multiple times a day, every single day here on the channel. I say that we do have 2 afternoons off, last night and tonight as well. We do have those afternoons off, just because coming into 2025, it would be nice to have a little bit of time off, not casting every day or twice a day every day like we did in the past. So we have some downtime, we have some time to rest and to take a break and to just edit VODs and work in other ways. That's the reality, is I'm still working, just in other ways. But that is going to be the plan for this evening. If you're curious, if you want to tune into my own personal content, I do stream whenever I can, and I will be live in a couple minutes. I'm going to be live, going to be laddering for the first time. I actually haven't played StarCraft since my show match against Zombie Grub last week. I actually haven't laddered or anything like that, so I'm a little bit rusty. I've just been focusing on casting, but we'll ladder tonight. We'll ladder here and now on my own personal channel. I'm a little bit sleep deprived, I'm a little bit tired, a little bit fatigued. I'm sure you noticed during the cast, but it'll be fine. It'll be a lot of fun, I'm sure. A lot of fun. We'll ladder for a couple of hours. Otherwise, thanks for watching. Thanks for the support. Again, this weekend is going to be the May edition of the 2v2 circuit, and our next cast here on the channel is going to be tomorrow with Lil League Cup 38. Again, featuring Scarlet, Gumiho, Jeshi, and some of the other players. So that is going to be tomorrow. Otherwise, thanks for watching. Thanks for the support. I'm going to quickly get something to eat. I have yet to have breakfast. It's 2 p.m. It's 2 p.m. here, so I'm going to quickly, grab something to eat. Maybe it's like some yogurt, maybe some fruits. And then we'll be jumping into the ladder. We'll be jumping into the ladder, baby. Let's go. Otherwise, thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time. Also, if you want to support the CranKy Ducklings, socials in the chat. You can follow us, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and Discord, all things CranKy Ducklings. Likewise, you can check us out on Patreon as well. All the StarCraft, all the socials. Otherwise, we'll see you next time. We'll see you tomorrow for some more StarCraft action. See you then. Ciao, papi, ciao. See you then.